today? Good. Well, I've been actually talking a little bit about the importance of creating an expense report in the workplace. So how many of y'all have ever heard of an expense report? Okay, how many of you have ever done one? Have you ever created one? Okay. Well, when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to working for a company, one of the things that they want is to know how much money, how much time has been spent on a particular item. And like that great philosopher Jay-Z said, numbers don't lie, check the scoreboard. In order to have an accurate expense report, you have to be intentional. That means that you have to make sure that you are keeping track of everything that the company wants you to record. And doing that is what's going to make sure that your report is accurate. Because in order to make the right choices, you have to have the right information. But if you don't have the right information, you can't know where your money is going. So when you create an expense report, you have to make sure that you are deliberate about what you're recording. Finding out from them what it is they want, how they want it presented. Some people want it in a Word document, some want it in a spreadsheet. But whatever platform they want, you have to familiarize yourself with how they want to record it, and then when they want it turned in. Several times I've actually had to create expense reports for trips that I have, and I have to keep copies of all of my receipts. Because if I don't keep a copy, I don't get reimbursed. That means I'm losing out on money. So I make sure that wherever I go, I get a receipt. I put it in a folder. And sometimes I can even create like an envelope to actually put the information in so you have it all in one place. I can do this at my house. We have a little basket that when we actually go out to spend anything, we come up and we put the receipts in there so we can all go ahead and we can actually categorize and actually tally those up. So when it comes to working for somebody, you have to be accurate in your reporting, because that's one thing that our government is strong on, and that is accuracy. So as an admin or working for a company who is responsible for creating an expense report, they want to make sure that you have everything in place. So again, you have to be intentional about it. That means that it has to be top priority. You know, one of the things I tell my kids is that, in fact, when it comes to things of money, those tend to be higher on my radar. Because if it's going to cost me money if I don't do this at a particular time, or if it's going to actually be more expensive if I wait, I need to know that. I need to know ahead of time. And so being accurate in your reporting, in your recording, making sure that you are prioritizing it. I mean, there are other things that you may have to do, but making sure that you have your numbers right is so important. And I know I'm good at math, but I still like to double check myself, because the last thing I want is somebody to catch something that I miss. And so being able to actually double check what it is you're doing. And if you have a trusted source, someone that you can work with, hey, look, I've done this, can you just look over this for me? Can you actually verify my numbers right before you turn it in? Because that's what's going to make sure that you are always at the top of your game. So many times we miss stuff. I've actually written 5 books. I'm finishing up my 6th one now. I have an editor. I have a proofreader. Because I know what I want to say. I know what I meant by that. But somebody else reading it, okay, so what were you really trying to say here? So having somebody else to take a look at it, it helps me so that when I present it, I don't look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Even in your expense report, having somebody again that can just check you, that can just check after, check behind you, and there's nothing wrong. I tell my kids all the time, there's nothing wrong with needing help. There's everything wrong with needing help and not being willing to ask for it. So being willing to have somebody else to come behind you to make sure that you're okay. And I know we do this even when we go out, even when we leave the house, especially if we're going somewhere fancy and we get dressed up, we have somebody to check and can you see, is everything right? Is everything where it needs to be? Is anything missing? Is something out of place? Is something out of fashion? We'll do that because we want to present our best. We're even doing an expense report, it's the same thing. And like I said, numbers don't lie. So being able to keep an accurate account of what it is you've been responsible for or what you have to do, that's so important because it's important to the company. Because if they're losing money, if they're spending money where they shouldn't, if something has gone up, then they don't want to know about it. But if the numbers aren't right, that's going to cause them a problem. So, of course, being intentional, being accurate, and I also said about double checking. Double checking what it is that you recorded. Making sure that all your numbers line up. How many of you have used Excel? Okay. How many of you know how to create formulas in Excel? I'll show you hands. Okay. See, like, yeah. Well, there are, of course, tutorials which will help you do that. And even when I do spreadsheets myself, I would check the formula, but I also check it on my calculator. So I can make sure that, okay, the formula is right, because if you click on the wrong cell, or if you have a comma in the wrong place, you can get, your numbers can be off. So as you work for a company and you're looking at the accuracy of your reports, I can't overemphasize this. You know, they write in books, people's philosophy, those things change, they kind of wait, they kind of go from here and there, but when it comes to numbers, again, numbers don't lie. So being able to present an accurate report is critical. It's critical. Can you imagine somebody messing up your check? Can you imagine how you would feel if somebody messed up your money? If you went to the bank and they had some money out of your, you're like, well, okay, wait. We need to figure this out because I didn't do this. The same way you went to a expense report for your job, they want to make sure that everything is accurate. And I know that's not perfect. I know it is. But again, that's one reason why they hire you. So that you can actually take that pressure off of them and they trust you with that. Yeah. And so that being the case, how can we develop, how can we be the best version of ourselves, even in doing an experiment? Even in being accurate, what does that really do? And I want to ask you a question. What are some of the things you think that you would need to do in order to be better at doing that job? Anybody? Go ahead.
I need more organized.
I'm sorry?
Organization.
Good. Organization. Okay, all right. Good. Good. Anybody else?
I think getting to have the actual proofreading.
Proofreading.
So you just double check and triple check if necessary.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? The organization and proofreading.
Jen,
I'm sorry?
as you said before, just
Being
being intentional for working.
intentional. And that is it. You know, focusing on how we can be better. I often talk about how practice makes perfect, and that's not true. Practice makes progress. So the more we do that, the better we become. If you started off in the month of January making cakes, and you had never baked a cake before in your life, but every week you made it a point to bake a cake. By December, I want to taste what you have. Because you have had 52 times to get it right. And so, I know it sometimes seems mundane. I know it sometimes seems like, okay, why is this so critical? But doing it, being accurate, that part is what sets you apart. I remember I worked at a job, and because of the way that I am about what I do, my supervisor said, when I had just a component, I don't have to worry about it. Because I know he's going to get it done. Even if I don't have the resources, even if it's something that's outside of my realm, I don't have a problem. I don't come back and say, well, I didn't get it done because of X, Y, no. If I didn't have X, Y, and Z, I knew where to go get X, Y, and Z. I know who to go call on and get them in. Again, there's nothing wrong with needing help. But there's everything wrong with needing it and not being willing to ask. If you need some help in an accounting software, if they have you put in like QuickBooks, or in fact whatever other software they're using to keep their in fact reports, become familiar with it. And one of the best things you can do is you can create a dummy report and play around with it. Mess it up. Break it if you have to, so you can figure out, okay, this is how you fix that. So when you have the accurate one, the real one, that's when you really can say, okay, I know this. I went to college in Atlanta back in the early 90s, and when I moved there, my cousin didn't have a phone. And there was a 2-week time period between at the time I moved there until the time that my student apartment was available. So I stayed with my cousins for 2 weeks. And again, they didn't have a phone. And back then, I had a cell phone. I didn't even have a beeper at that time. But what I had to do was I said, okay, I need to get a map of Atlanta. And I figured out, okay, Atlanta had 25 around the city. Interstate 20 kind of went through the city. You had 85 coming from Montgomery going to South Carolina. You had 75 coming up from Florida going to Tennessee. And everything converged in the middle. So looking at that map, I knew a general place where I was. So what I would do on a Sunday afternoon, back then gas was cheaper, I would fill up my car and I would say, okay, if I'm here, and if I need to get here, I should be able to take a couple of side streets and get to my location. Because I tell you, the traffic in Atlanta was horrible. I actually thought about taking the chessboard or a checkerboard and keep it in my car so I could play with the car next to me because we were not moving. But then, as I started to understand that there were roads that I could go around, I could get off this exit, I can go to this neighborhood, I can take this road, and I can get past all this congestion and get where I need to go. But again, on a Sunday afternoon, when I wasn't in a hurry, when I didn't have anything pressing or I didn't have to be anywhere by a specific time, I did that. And what that did was that gave me confidence to whenever I got in a jam and I needed to get somewhere by a certain time, there was problems on the interstate, just get off on the next exit because I knew where to go. And so I'm telling you that even with your expense report, before you have somebody standing over your shoulder saying, where is it? Why is it not happening? Before that happens, take the time to play around with it. Even if you have to take 5 or 10 minutes a day. Just, okay, I want to do this. I want to add up column A and column B, and I want to total in column C. And just do that. And get familiar, get comfortable, get confident in that. And then when you are asked to do it, you don't have a problem. Because you know, I know how to get through this. I know how to navigate this particular part of the program. So don't be afraid. And in essence, people, they would prefer that you break something and he's trying to do something. They're sitting there saying, well, I didn't want to tear it. I didn't want to break it. Because again, when they're under pressure, when we have to turn this in, when we need these numbers for this meeting, or we're making a presentation to our clients, to our customers, they need the information. And that's not the time, in fact, for you to be under that type of pressure. So again, apply to yourself before. So when it comes, you don't even worry about it. Tempered glass is heated up so much to where, like the regular sun, it doesn't bother. It's stronger because of what it went through before it got put in place. And that's what we have to do with our, not just our expense reports, but any aspect of your job, anything that you're doing. Take the time to become proficient in it. Take the time to do extra in it because that's what shows. Usain Bolt said he trained 4 years for 9 seconds. 4 years for 9 seconds. And I'm not saying that you have to do that for your job, but you definitely need to do more than expected of you in order for you to actually excel at it. Anybody can do the status quo. But what are you going to do that's going to set you apart? What are you going to do that's really going to make you the employee of the month? What are you going to do that's really going to allow you to save the day? Because when you've been given that task, that's what you've been expected to do. You've been expected to, if everybody did their job, If the organization was well-oiled and well-run, you can make more money, you can have more influence, it's going to affect your family and your future. So I just want you to understand that creating an accurate expense report, you really become a hero to the company. And I know that seem like those just numbers, but those numbers mean something. You know, like I said earlier, numbers, they don't lie. So make it a point that you realize how important it is what you're doing and the results. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close. I worked for an organization and I was there for 6 months, and quite frankly, I had no idea what they did. There were so many moving parts, there were so many things that were going on. I was like, why do we have this money? Why do we have that money? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? But I sat in on a meeting with them, and they had a review of everything that they did. And I understood why all of the parts worked together. I understood why they were so important. I understood why this piece had to be done before this can be done, and that had to be done before this can be done. So whatever organization you're a part of, if there are opportunities for you to learn more about what they do and how they do it and who they do it for, it helps gives you better fuel and better ammo for you to understand why this report is so important. Why am I doing my job so well? Because if I don't do this, that doesn't give them what they need in order for them to meet the client's expectations. So we all have an opportunity to make a difference where we are. The question is, are we going to step up? Are we going to do what it takes? Especially when it comes to an expense report, being intentional about it, being organized, actually being accurate, double checking ourselves, all of that goes into us being able to do an amazing job, because that's what future leaders do.
Yes.
Thank you.